Hi everyone, and welcome to ATP Live Monday. And this is a special anniversary edition, and it's good to have you all join us today. Again, I'm still having issues with our Instagram connecting with StreamYard, but I guess it's not just only us. All right, so welcome everyone. I hope you've had a lovely, beautiful day. Being Mr. Lavoide, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this special ATP Live Monday, which is also a special anniversary edition for us. So feel free to share the video. So it's special edition, but we'll still do our usual business of answering any questions that you may have about the health of your children. And so, but if you also want to give us any anniversary message or anything like that, feel free to do that as well. So you're welcome, everyone. I will just need to quickly connect to my WhatsApp. Um, just 1 minute for this on Instagram. Just give me a couple of minutes. Um, okay, so I'm back. All right, so welcome to HTP Live Monday. And I want to say happy anniversary to all the TPS there. Okay, it's our 10th anniversary, or a decade of making impact. So we really are grateful. And we've been celebrating the whole of July. It's our anniversary, and we're going to be celebrating. So feel free to give us any goodwill message that you may have. Um, Okay, I think people should see my face again. All right, so welcome. And so let's just share the video first. Let's share it to all our pages and share it to um, our groups so that people can join us. And if you have any questions about the health of your children, feel free to start to drop your questions. And then I'm also going to give you lots of information about our ongoing 10th anniversary and how you can be part of our journey. Looking forward to doing many more years. So I'm just trying to share the video now, and then after that we will start to take the questions. But thank you so much for all of you that have been dropping messages on our Facebook group, on our pages, on our social media posts. I mean, it's been so overwhelming. Thank you. Don't think it that we don't respond to your message. There are just so many of them, but we see them, and we really appreciate you for celebrating us on our 10th anniversary. And we look forward to serving the Nigerian children more in the coming years. So, welcome. We just got 1 hour as our pattern is to answer any questions that you may have about the health of your children. And like I said, it's our special anniversary edition. So feel free to also ask us anything you want to ask about. Ask the pediatricians as well. Our vision, what we do, anything at all. You're also free to ask that today. All right. So I think I'm done with all my sharing. I just want to pin it, and then we're good to go. Okay. And if you're joining us on Instagram, you're welcome. If you're joining us on YouTube channel, you're welcome. If you're watching on our groups, you're welcome. And remember that if you're watching on the groups, you need to make sure that you okay, let me just pin the posts. not allowing me to pin more than one at a time, so I need to remove some things. Okay, I think we should just leave it the way it is. Okay, so I think almost done. Just give me a couple of more minutes and I'm just going to pin the videos in the group so that people can see the videos in our group. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for those who have been participating in our anniversary, the trivias, all our posts, going back 10 years and seeing all that we've been able to journey so far. It's been amazing. We're still going to come back and tell you the story, but just keep enjoying it for now. All right. Okay, I think I've pinned. But which one have I not pinned? Have I been asked to pediatrician? Okay, yeah, I've pinned. Okay, some people are helping me with the pinning. Okay. All right, I think I'm done with the pinning. Okay, this is ATP family that I've not pinned. Okay. All right. So I think I'm done with all the pinnings. All right, so let me now specially welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This program is brought to you by Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. And Ask the Pediatricians Foundation, we're committed to the health and the welfare of your children globally, but more especially in Nigeria, in Africa, where a lot of our children are still dying from what we call preventable causes of death. So that is what our goal is, to see no child die from what is preventable, what is treatable. So that's what we do. Basically, we do that through our online platform, and we also do that through our offline platform. So this program today is just one of our expressions, where today you get to ask any question that you may have about the health of your children in 1 hour, and I'll try and answer them. So thank you so much. So if you have any question, feel free to drop your questions now. You can, start with the age of the child, and then you go ahead and tell us what the concerns you have about the child and what you want us to do. So if you're there, I can see some of you there already. So let me know you're there, because I can't see any questions. I can't see any comments. But while I'm waiting for your questions and comments, I just want to tell you that we've been doing this for the past 10 years. ATP was started on the 20th of July 2015, and then as a Facebook group, really. And then we're posting questions and posting things to help parents understand how to raise healthy children. And then before you know it, we go beyond our online platform and we started doing community outreaches, because we realized not everybody is on social media. And so we have to help those who are not on social media as well. So we do community medical outreaches. And seriously speaking, I've lost the count of how many outreaches we have done so far. Throughout the whole of Nigeria, we have done outreaches in every state of Nigeria. So, and we're so grateful to God for that. And so July is our ATP month, it's our anniversary month, and it's our 10th anniversary. So we're really, really excited. Oh, I got a question on Instagram. Welcome. Show how buff. So I will start to answer the question, then I'm going to tell us more about our anniversary and how you can be part of the good work you're doing. And if ATP has been a blessing to you, please share your story. Let's hear your ATP story. We want to hear it and we want to talk about it. All right. So the first question I have on Instagram, show her Bath, say I have a 2-year-old. It snores and breathes loudly. Should I be concerned? Yes, if your child is breathing loudly, obviously that is not normal. Breathing should be noiseless, should be effortless, you shouldn't practically notice somebody breathing. Well, as I'm talking to you now, I'm breathing, but you won't really notice whether I'm breathing or not. So if your child is breathing fast or breathing too loudly and snoring at night, it could be the child have what we call enlarged tonsils or adenoid. They are like soft tissue around the airway area. If they are bigger than normal, they are normal tissues, but sometimes they get so big, and if they are so big, they can cause they can cause like a kind of obstruction in the airway, and that will make the child to snore a lot, or that will also cause mouth breathing. That's why you hear the child breathing loudly. So sometimes they are not so big, and apart from the noisy or the snoring and the breathing that you can hear, there's nothing else. The child will not be having infections and all that. So sometimes we wait, and most of those adenoids, they can shrink on their own by the time children are about 4 to 6 years old. But if it is causing problem, like the child is stopping to breathe, what we call obstructive sleep apnea, or it is causing the child to have recurrent infection, tonsillitis all the time, having fever, needing antibiotic treatment. Usually we see if it's more than 6 times in a year, that is too many. And if your child is having all that, then we may have to intervene. So I will just recommend first that you see a pediatrician, or you can also see an ENT doctor, and they can examine your baby, look at how big the adenoids or the tonsils are, and then they can now tell you whether it's something that we're going to watch and wait, or whether if it's really causing a lot of problems, sometimes we have to remove it. It has to be operated as a surgical procedure, so to take it out. So that is if it is really causing a lot of obstruction and difficulties for the child. So that is what we do. So I think the best thing is to first of all have your baby examined and be sure that the child to see how big it is. Sometimes some doctors may want you to do like an X-ray of the neck, and then from the X-ray they will see how big it is, and that will determine what they would do. All right. So I'm happy you got that as well. Facebook people ask questions. Seem like nobody is asking questions on Facebook. All right. So if you are still there, if you have any question, feel free to ask your questions, and then we will answer them. All right. So we're just telling us about Ask the Pediatricians Foundation and what we do. So it is started out of a burden to make sure that, as a pediatrician, I go for conferences a lot of the time, and I hear a lot of we're always talking about how many of our children are dying, how many of them are, very sick, and then which is worse compared to our colleagues in Europe and Americas and all those other advanced countries. And unfortunately, our children are still dying in hundreds. And at least in a year, we lose about 5 million children under the age of 5. That is a lot. That is so many children. And a lot of them are dying even the first year. Some are even dying in the first month, and some are dying in the first week of life. And most of our children are dying not from things that we cannot treat, not from things that we cannot prevent. They are dying from things that we know how to treat them. We know how to prevent them. We know what to do, really. So why should a lot of our African children still be dying? And I begin to think about it, and I found that the missing link is that why we professionals we sit together and we talk, we usually don't have the parents there. And the parents are the missing link. I found that they are the most important stakeholders that we're not carrying along. So we always make our plan, how we're going to reduce the number of deaths of our children and all that. But at the end of the day, the deaths are really not going down. So we need to do something about it. And that is what led to me to start Ask the Pediatrician. Then also when I was on Facebook, I realized a lot of parents will come online and talk about the health issues of their children. And I belong to a lot of women communities on Facebook group. And I found that a lot of other mothers will also come and start to give answers to the person asking questions. And some of the answers people are giving, they are so dangerous, they are so sometimes they make me to shiver. And I realize that this person has come for help, but these people are also trying to help, but they are actually making things worse for the person. And the person who has asked the question is getting like 10, 20 different answers, and the person is more confused at the end of the day. So they've not really helped her, or some have even given her advice. So when it comes to health issues, it's not a democracy of opinion, it's not a democracy of how popular or who is, no, it's a matter of these are life and death. Because if people give you a wrong advice when it comes to your car or to your clothes, you can, you know, worst case scenario, you lose the car or you lose your clothes, you buy another one. But when it comes to death of a child, if a child dies, that is it. We can't get the child back. So this is why we felt like we need a platform where we can support parents and give them advice from the perspective of a doctor that knows about children health issues. And that is what's led to us starting Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. So that is why it is called Ask the Pediatrician. So we don't want you to be asking people who are not qualified to advise you on health issues. And that is why we call it Ask the Pediatrician. So it was just a one woman initial vision of trying to support mothers to raise healthy children and make sure they know the right thing. Because I work in a government hospital for many years and realized many of the time when we see the children come and like, this child has been sick for days and why are you just coming here? And they were like, oh, because my neighbor says it's sitting. Oh, they say I should be giving sitting powder. It is this, is, you know, and at the end of the day, we are battling to save the life of these children, and we are just we only care it is God that will do the right. So sometimes if you come to us too late, we cannot save anybody no matter how much we do. So this is what Active Pediatrician is trying to do, to bridge a gap for the mothers, for in raising our children, to make sure that we know what to do and we do it at the right time. So that's how we started 10 years ago on the 20th of July 2015. And before we know it, it grew rapidly. A lot of mothers really value that service. And right now we have over 700,000 members on our group. And beyond that, we realize that there are lots of people who also need this work, who need this help, but they don't even have smartphones. They are not on Facebook and all that. So that is why we started doing the outreaches. And we started our first outreach in 2016. And like I said, right now, there's no state in Nigeria that we have not done an outreach. We've done multiple outreaches in all the states of Nigeria. We've even done in Ghana. So that's how far we have gone. And we're obviously looking forward to do more because we want those statistics to become zero, really. We want no child to die. In some countries, if a child should die, it's like a whole country will be doing reviews. But in Africa, it's almost like we just take it for granted. Even our parents, they were having many children because they are like, they don't know who is going to survive or not. So welcome everyone. If you're just joining, feel free to ask your questions. I'm here to answer your questions. But while I'm waiting for your questions, I'm just trying to tell you more about ATP and how we started this journey. And we are currently celebrating our 10th anniversary. And so we are grateful for all the lives we have been able to touch. You know, many children have been saved. Sometimes people ask me, what keeps you going on ATP? And the answer is I always remember some pictures. I'll remember things that we because sometimes it's not easy to always want to come up and show up every day online and all that. We are all very busy people. When you know that you can make a difference to a life of a child, then you want to show up. So I remember one of the pictures in the early days of a child, you know, when this mother posted those pictures, was those days when Facebook is not yet controlling things and we don't turn off comments and all that. You posted a picture of a 1-year-old child, and that child is weighing like 4 kilos. I mean, at 1 year old, for perspective, an average newborn weighs 2.5 to 3.5 kilos. So if a 1-year-old child is weighing 1 kilo, that child is just a little bit above the weight of a newborn baby. And it's those kind of pictures that when people post, you would think this child is in a war-torn country, in maybe those days in Somalia or Sudan and all those things. But this is a child in Nigeria, and that child is really, really very, small, and everybody was so worried, and I, of course, we answered the question, so the mother was, but then I just realized that this one is not going to cut it. I need to go beyond so I remember having to go inside the, inbox the mother, ask her, where are you? And I asked her, can you bring the child? And she brought the child to me in loose then, and then obviously we did our little and helped the mother. In fact, one of our members gave money because the mother obviously also has some financial capacity issues. So she gave us some money. I think it was 30,000 naira. You can imagine 30,000 naira. Otherwise, that child would have become part of the statistics of children who dies in Nigeria. And then we'll be talking about our figures. And then we helped that child within 2 months. That child, came back for follow-up and came to my clinic. And you see this child, the child is now weighing 8 kilos. I took a picture of that child, and anytime I'm thinking of I need to give up on ATP, I remember that child. I remember the before and the after of that child. And I see what difference that mother coming to Facebook, putting that picture, and we were able to step in, give her the advice, even go the extra mile, ask the child to come to the hospital and help her. And that child is well. That child is doing so well. That child could not sit at the time the mother posted the picture, was just lying flat. He cannot even sit down. At the time I saw that child, and when I took the second picture, the child was sitting up in my clinic on the examination couch. So those are the kind of stories that makes me know that we need this kind of a platform, and that is just one of those stories. We have thousands, and I'm sure many of you have read some of those stories on our Facebook group. All right, so welcome everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. So this is what we've been doing, and beyond what we do on Facebook, on social media, we do a lot of things outside social media. We do a lot of outreaches, we do a lot of school outreaches. We've touched millions and millions of lives, and we also help vulnerable children, orphanages, schools. I remember when we went to Mansha in 2018, the whole village came to welcome us in Mansha, and they gave us this plenty yam, because we went there because it's another couple that posted a picture on social media, on Facebook, and we saw children, Nigerian children, lying down on the floor. That is their school, under a tree. And I'm like, this cannot be happening while we are here, and people were even reprimanding the couple, like they're going to, like ban him, and why should you post that kind of a picture? Instead of us to look at how we're going to fix it, we're actually just trying to, people were saying all sorts of nonsense. So we got in touch with that couple, and we find out the name of that school in Mansha. And then before, the first thing we raised money, we bought the mats and just put up a temporary structure so that those children can have a place where they can stay in school. And then we were able to raise funds. I can't remember how many millions we spent, but we were able to refurbish their school, because what happened was that a storm had happened and blew away the roof of the school, and that is why the children do not have class. So we refurbished that school. We put chairs for the children to sit in, and we did a lot of that. So the day we went to Mancha, we also did a community medical, because you will see these children's skin, all sorts of skin rashes, all sorts of, because they were literally lying on the soil, inside the soil. That is how. But these children have so much passion to learn, and they were still coming. So we went there, we refurbished the school, put in the chairs and all that. If you go on our Facebook group, you see all the pictures there in our album. And then, we did a community outreach, gave them medication and all that. I can never forget the joy in the village that day. That day when we went to Mancha, we have to come down from our bus and trek with our feet into the village, because there's only one narrow wooden bridge that connects that Mansha Edu local government to the rest of Kwara State. So our bus has to go without us on the otherwise the bridge is going to collapse, and we all walk with our feet down. And then but the whole village were happy. The what's it called, the state senator or whatever was there, and to welcome us, and they were so happy that some people could come. You never know whether the next president or governor or even the local government chairman of that place is going to come from that from those children that we saw in that school. And till now, even they're always sending us messages. The children are doing so well. We're so proud of them. So these are the kind of things that we do in ATP, just beyond just coming to answer questions on social media. But why is our social media platform? I have a question on Facebook. I won't say it now, but let me just finish this out. But why is our social media presence so important? Because virtually everybody who has volunteered for ATP first come in contact with ATP through our Facebook group. So all our volunteers in all those states, you wonder how were we able to go to all the states in Nigeria? We don't have an headquarters, we don't have a building that is a building. Most of our states, I've not been there myself, and but yeah, people are doing lots of marvelous things. It's because people come in contact with the Facebook platform, they got help for themselves, and they realize I can give back as well. So they volunteer for us, and they also now become, they start to go out and to help, in their own community. And that is actually what HTP is all about. So I'm going to tell you, for those of you who are just listening to the story for the first time, how you can also be part of that dream. All right. Question from Hester. Okay, good day, ma. I was called from my children's school and my 6-year-old was bleeding from her nose. Okay, which has never happened before. But before I get to the school, it has stopped. What might be the problem? Nose bleeding is a very common thing. There's no, it's not, the way you are asking, like, what might be the problem, as if it's a something rare. It's okay. Children can have nosebleeds, and it doesn't need to have any particular cause. It's something that happened, and some children tend to have it more than the others, and it can happen. And I'm happy the school has done the right thing. I hope they were able to stop it, because there's a way you pinch the nose. That's one of the things we go to school. We've been doing our first aid school outreach, and when we go to schools, we give them our first aid cards, and we give the school the bigger calendar. And one of the things we teach them is what to do in cases of emergencies. So I hope this school is one of those schools we have reached. If not, if we have reached their school before, even the children in the school, they would have known about what to do in nosebleed, because all you need to do is to pinch the nose, not to make them put their head, but actually a little bit forward and pinch it for about a couple of minutes, and the bleeding will stop. So children can have nosebleeds. Most times there's nothing wrong. Most times some children tend to have it a lot, but most of the time they outgrow it. Sometimes when children pick their nose, because there are blood vessels in the nose. So especially when they've had catarrh or something, and they begin to pick on the nose, removing the cross, they can initiate nosebleeds. And so it's a very common thing. But if it's happening frequently, if it's happening again and again, you may want to go back to a doctor. Just make sure the child doesn't have any other underlying medical condition that could make them bleed. Some children have what we call bleeding disorders, especially if it's a boy or girl, very unlikely. Most of the bleeding disorders tend to happen in boys, because the factors that are deficient tend to be on the X chromosomes. I know boys may have the deficient one. So unless if the child is bleeding frequently, that's when we need to investigate for bleeding disorders. Otherwise, nosebleeds is a very common thing, and you don't need to panic. If it happens at home, you need to know how to pinch the nose, and we have that in our first aid booklet. It's available online. We have like an online course as well for what to do in case of first aid. This is one of the reasons we actually go to the schools, and we actually empower our children to know what to do in cases of medical emergencies. If somebody is convulsing, what do you do? If somebody is having an asthmatic attack in school, what do you do? If somebody suddenly fainted or suddenly collapsed in school. So we don't just do outreaches to take care of those who are already sick. We also do empowerment outreaches, and we tend to focus on our children, because we know that if we reach the children will take the message back home, and the generation will continue to. It's a generational thing. So that is what we do. All right, let me go to the next question, if I may. Cynthia had said, good evening, my happy anniversary. We took our 12 weeks. How is your baby? I hope the seizure thing is stopped. I remember you from last week. I hope so. So you took your 12 weeks immunization today. What's the right dose of paracetamol? She weighs 7 kilos at 11 weeks. Okay, the right dose of paracetamol, most of us use the paracetamol syrup that has 120 milligram in 5 mils. So if your child is weighing 7 kilos, the dose of paracetamol is about 15 milligram per kilo, or 10 to 15 milligram per kg per dose. So for your 7 kilo baby, that's about 70 milligram. Yeah. So if they told you to give 2.5 minutes, it's still close. 2.5 minutes about 60 milligram, but it should be closer to about 3 meals to 3.5, but it's not too bad. So it's okay to give like 3 meals, but you need to give paracetamol if your child is having fever. Okay, sometimes your child take immunization and they don't have fever, so you don't need to give them paracetamol if they don't have fever. But if the child is having fever, you can give paracetamol, and you can give paracetamol every 6 hours and all that. So just to say that if you are home, your child needs to take paracetamol and you don't know the dose to give, and you've not asked us at the hospital, it's not a big deal if you just follow what is written on the pack. So the pack would have written this age to this age, give this amount, this age to this age, give this amount. It's okay to use those ranges. It may not be the perfect, accurate dose, but it should still be close enough. So don't overthink it, all right? Don't always overthink it. So for in this example now, giving that 2.5 mil is still okay, even though it could be closer to 3 meals, but it's still okay. You don't need to worry too much, and you're not going to cause harm to your baby by giving that. So, and then be very gentle with the you say you took your 12 weeks. Okay, there's no 12 weeks immunization actually. You mean you see the 10 weeks that your baby is taking late, or is it the 14 weeks you want to write? I'm just wondering. But if it's just the 10 weeks because you were taking it late, that is fine. All right, but there's just no 12-week immunization. Just that, I just feel like I should point that out. All right, let's move on to the next. Okay, so you said, okay, see you. If I'm, you said please, when is it too late to give Rota 3? Um, uh, some people will say up to the age of 1 year we give. Depends. Some manufacturers say after 8 months you can give, but I think most of us just will still give before the child. The thing is, rotavirus as an infection tends to affect children between the ages of 6 to 11 months. That is the peak of rotavirus infection. So if we are giving the immunization to prevent infection that tends to happen from 6 to 11 months, then it means we should have given it before that 6 months. But sometimes if you started, we just want you to complete it. So, but if you've not started after 15 weeks, it's really not useful anymore because you should have started earlier. So, but um, if you've given it already and you're only just given the oh, okay, my phone, Instagram, my phone is overheating. Okay, if you've given it already and it is just um the last dose, I would just say just give it as much as possible. There's no reason to worry so much. Let me see whether I can go live on my. Oh, okay. It's actually now live. Okay, that's interesting. I think Instagram was having issues, but is now live. Okay. So that's good. Okay. I'm happy it's going live. Okay. So all right, okay. Oh, this was the old one. Okay. All right. So you just take the Rota 3. Your baby is just 12 weeks. You said baby is 12 weeks today. So if baby is just 12 weeks, it's fine. Just take it. I mean, you still have time. But usually we'll say 8 months. But if you are still taking it, as long as it's still okay, don't worry. Don't overthink it. That's just the point. So you just take it. All right. Let me move on to the next question. So Esther is saying thank you, happy anniversary to HCP. God bless you all. God bless you too. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So if you have questions, feel free to ask your question. Those of you on Instagram, those of you on Facebook, feel free to ask your question. So as before we continue, I just want to tell you that there's still so much work, for us to do on ATP. We've done 10 years, but we still have a lot more work and a lot more children, lots more bridges to climb. So we really want, and one of the things when it comes to doing outreaches or making that, doing all this work, a lot of our volunteers sacrifice a lot. We don't pay people for volunteering for ATP. Is that, people give their time, people give their skills, and I want to say a big thank you to all our volunteers for all the good work they've done for us. God bless them. So, but we still need a lot of money. It takes, if I tell you how many millions ATP has spent, and for an organization that doesn't get funding from anywhere per se, it's a lot of, it always amazes me where we get all those millions, because it's people giving us 20, 200, 1,000, 200, 50,000 here and there. That is doing all this work. But the challenge with that is not, is sustainability, because sometimes you want to do outreaches and you don't have the money to do the outreach. So what do you do? So we will really need people like you to help us. And we rely on free will donation for all this work. So I'm going to tell you how you can be part of that. But let me answer one of the questions. If I might say, okay, your baby is fine now, she's still on drugs, okay, and you're still having your monthly checkup, okay, good. Okay, so you've not been back since we last discussed, okay, that's fine. I only told them what I noticed, give the result of the EEG, and she was placed on clonazepam, and they would say the excuse me. I'm not really happy with the way you were treated, so I should apologize on behalf of my colleagues, really, for you, because it's not right. They shouldn't just have started you on medications like that without explaining to you what is really wrong with your baby. Really, it is important that they explain things to you. So I apologize on behalf of my colleagues, okay? But I just also want to use this as a point to say that you should also always ask questions, especially when you are just normalize asking doctors about what they're doing, because I was not happy that you need to come and ask, what is this medication for? It is a very powerful medication, so they should have told you. And it's not a medication we stop so very easily like that. It's a medication that we don't start and stop within months. It's a medication that we give for a long time. So I'm happy you're going to go back and you're going to have that conversation with them. So as the shaking is, if the shaking is still ongoing, I hope you're taking record of how often your baby is having the shaking and all that. It's important to keep what we call it seizure diary. And these are the kind of conversation you should also have had with them, like and when to do this, when to do that. Okay. So okay, thank you so much, James, for your goodwill messages. Uh, Ifama is saying, should I not give her another paracetamol because she's actually not having fever, but it's cranky and in pain? If she's in pain, if you think she's in pain, you can give paracetamol. You can give paracetamol for pain, you can give paracetamol for fever. But actually, what I normally tell parents, I'll be very gentle the way you handle the legs. Most of the time, most of us are not very mindful of the fact that a child just took immunization and we just keep carrying them, moving them. They are sore on those legs, because that's 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks injection. The one that is 5 in 1, it's a lot of injection put together, and it's a very deep intramuscular vaccine. So the children feel sore at the point where they're given the immunization. So you be very gentle the way you just carry them, and you can put a little bit of ice on it. And so if you think the child is feeling pain, yes, you can give paracetamol for pain as well, so it's fine. Usually we say 2-3 days max. You don't keep giving it forever, because if you give too much paracetamol, you can cause liver damage. So that's why we always say when you give paracetamol. So when people listen to advice on paracetamol, they will tell you after 2 days, go and see your doctor. There's a reason why they say that, because we don't want you to just keep giving paracetamol forever. So you have to go and see us, because usually by 2 days we expect all the fever or the pain to have resolved. So that is about that. All right. So let me just uh while I'm still waiting for more questions, encourage you to come and support ATP. And we're trying to raise 10 million naira for the next decade. And there's a lot of money to be spent. And it looks like a big money, but it's not really that much. In fact, we can spend 10 million on one outreach. So we need your support. And more than that, we need support of people who are consistent. Most time people give us money when we're doing outreaches and for that particular outreach. And then when we want to do the next one, we have to come and look for you again. But we're looking for at least 10,000 people who will commit to giving us 10,000 naira every year, not every month, it's every year. So we're looking for people who can give us sustainable money, so that we can plan, we can support our children the more. So if you feel led, if you feel blessed to be part of our story to reach more Nigerian children, please feel free to donate. Our account details are there. It's Ask Pediatricians Foundation, it's Guaranteed Trust Bank. We have both the Naira account, we have dollar account. So feel free to put in something there. And if you can commit to us to donate that 10,000 naira every month, every year, not every month, every year. If you are up to that every month, why not? I can assure you that one thing I can assure you with ACP is that every couple you gives goes into our outreach. We don't pay our volunteers. We don't spend money on ourselves. Rather, our volunteers are actually the one who still give a lot of money sometimes for the outreaches. So our volunteers are just super amazing. They not only give their time, they give their skills, and they also give them money. But we're looking for more people so that we can reach more Nigerian children. In the last year, we've distributed over 1 million copies. 100,000 copies of the first aid booklets to several secondary schools in Nigeria. And you can see that that's a lot of money that goes into that as well. So we really, really need to do more. But to do more, we really need a lot of support and a lot of funding. So feel free to be part of our journey, and we'll be very grateful. So if you have questions and you want to clarify anything, or you have corporate organization you think will be our co-partners and all that, yes, feel free to reach us, and we will try and get in touch with them. We just want people who will be willing to give us support every year, so that we can always plan. We thank God for people that have helped us in the past. We thank God for Facebook. We thank God for Global Giving. We thank God for Friesland Campaigner. We thank them very much. They've been so helpful for us. And but we need more people to be part of our journey, to be able to support us. And that is why we are calling on you as one of the our friends and our fans to come. So if you are willing to do any of this, please feel free to send the money. And if you think you don't want to commit to the every year donation, but you want to commit to once-off donation, like I'm just going to give you 1 million naira, I'm just going to give you 100,000, I'm just going to give you any amount, whatever, even if it's 1,000 naira, we will take it with thanks from you. Feel free to do, but just know that all this money, they are going into supporting the Nigerian children, making sure that our children are living, they're not dying. And if you're a corporate organization, you want to advertise, you want to sponsor segment programs, that way we will also use it to raise funds. Please feel free to reach us. And for this 10th anniversary, as part of this fundraiser, we are we're doing a raffle. So even though if you give us at least minimum of 10,000 naira, we will enter you into our raffle draw, and we have got lots of prizes for you as well. It's just a fun way of also raising funds for our outreaches in the coming decade. So you can buy your raffle ticket, pay 10,000 naira into ATP account, send your money to us, send your information to us on WhatsApp, and we will enter you for the raffle, which will happen on the 31st of 31st of July. Sorry, the dates on that are wrong. It's going to be 31st of July, 2025. And then that is when we'll take the raffle. Okay, and these are the prices that we're going to give to you for being part of our raffle. It's not much, but remember we're a charity, but we just want to encourage you to be part of this journey with us. All right, so let me continue with the questions. Okay, for mine is still asking, is there a way you can prevent your son from contacting cover school? The only way is to keep your child at home, to be honest. That's the only way. But the other way is actually if the school themselves keep sick children at home, but we parents, so most of us don't like to keep our children at home because we have to go to work and other. But ideally, if a child is sick, then they should really stay home. They shouldn't be coming to school if they are coughing or they have any symptoms or any infection that they can easily pass on to other children. So ideally, they should stay at home. But we know that doesn't always happen. So what some schools will do is to keep children who are having like contagious or infectious, they keep them apart from the other children. But most people don't take covers. That's one of those serious ones. So people just leave the children. So that's why children in preschool, nursery, they tend to have cough and catarrh like a vicious cycle. They're always, coughing in and out and all that. So there's really nothing much you can do, to be honest, apart from, but some children they are very susceptible. So any little person cough around them, they are going to catch it. Whereas some children are not like that. They are fine. So if your child is getting on and off, you may want to see a pediatrician as well to make sure there's no other reason why your child is very predisposed to having the cough and catarrh from other children. So that's it. But apart from keeping the child from school, to be honest, there's not so much you can. You didn't tell us the age of this child. The age is important because if it's children below the age of 3, for example, most of them don't really need to be going to school like that, so they can stay home. So by the time they're about 4, 5 years, they can now start going to school. So, but you can also have that conversation with the school, like what is the infectious diseases policy and all that. So that's another way of addressing it. Sometimes it can be that bad in some children that we actually just tell the parents to keep them home because that's just the only alternative, really. But we also make sure that child is fully immunized. They are also, there's nothing else. There's no underlying health issues for them as well. So those are the things that we can do, but it's a little bit tricky with those children. Okay, and yes, so for the baby at home, you also want to keep the baby. It's a little bit tricky as well, keeping siblings separate. But sometimes when the children are coughing, you want to keep them apart. Then when they come from school, you encourage him to wash his hands and all that. So those are the things you can do. Otherwise, it's just one of those things that come with school age children going in and out, having respiratory infections. It's a vicious cycle once they're in school. It's only the school that can help us by keeping sick children at home, which is always difficult for them to do. Bukola Ogun Jejeloye, thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here as well. I don't have any question on Instagram. So happy 10th anniversary, HCP. So remember what I said, please be part of our journey. And if you still want to know more about how you can be a volunteer, how you can donate, how you can support us, feel free to send us a message on, you can inbox us on Facebook, you can send a message to our WhatsApp number. You can see our WhatsApp number scrolling on the screen. Okay, it's not scrolling for those on Instagram, but if you go to our profile page on Instagram, you see our WhatsApp number there, +234 9056916818. So if you send us a WhatsApp message on that, we will be able to get it as well. Okay, I don't think I have any. Okay, do I have another question? Good evening, doctor, and congratulations, CCP. Thank you. Thank you so much for your congratulatory messages. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And please keep sharing your ATP story. We have a lot of stories. I think our graphics team are trying to put them together so we keep sharing them. And if you go on all our social media platform, we are putting all the videos of our volunteers, of our outreaches, and all that they've been doing, so you can also watch them, because we can't tell our story in one program. So yeah. So you said, does any form of family planning affect breast milk supply? There are family planning methods that you cannot use when you are breastfeeding. So, for example, oral contraceptive pills that have estrogen, you can't use this when you are breastfeeding. So, I saw a question yesterday about somebody who wants to. She was even just asking us that, when she should start with the yellow tablet or the white tablet, and she's a breastfeeding mother and she wants to use oral contraceptive pills. Please, as much as possible, if you are a mother, if you have children and you are trying to space your pregnancy, please don't use family planning methods without seeing a family planning provider. It's important to have that conversation. There are lots of issues. There are lots of things we consider when we're making recommendation in terms of family planning methods. There are we consider the health of the mother, whether you have diabetes or hypertension, at your weight, your BMI. So there are methods we will not recommend for somebody who has a high blood pressure or who has a high BMI or who is obese. There are methods we will not recommend for somebody who is breastfeeding. And then we also look at the side effects. Some women want to see blood every month, and if they don't see their period every month, it's a big issue for them. So there are certain methods such people will not use, and some people are very forgetful. If you're going to use tablets, you can't be forgetting. You have to use it at the same time every day. So there are a lot of factors that help us decide, because a lot of mothers will ask us, what is the best family planning? There's nothing like the best family planning method. There's no ideal family planning method. There's only what is suitable or best for you, and what may be best for you may not be best for me, depending on my health history, depending on my weight, depending on my medical history, depending on whether I'm breastfeeding or not. So if somebody who is a single mom, somebody who is a single person, who is not pregnant, who is not having babies, they can use oral contraceptive pills, and especially if they can remember to take it every day. But somebody who is a mother will need to use a different form of contraceptive pill. So they will use what we call mini pill, which is a progesterone only pill if they want to use tablets. But we also have the injections, that is progesterone injections. We have the implants, like there's a single one, there's a double one, and all those kind of implants that they put in, and that may be helpful for those who want to stop having babies for a long time, maybe 5 years. While people who are, say, maybe 1 year, they may want to just go for the injections, but some people don't like injection as well. So they want to try mini pill, but you have to remember to take them. So each method has its own plus, and then they have their own downside. Then what about your health issues? So those are the things that the family planning provider will talk you through everything. And unfortunately, in Nigeria, sometimes people just say, go and use this family planning method. If you go to anywhere and they just say you go and use this, it is wrong. That is not how it should be done. When you go to them, they're supposed to tell you all the different methods, tell you all the advantages and disadvantages of each, ask you question about your health, and tell you whether because of your health issues you should not use this method or that method, and then narrow it down for you, maybe to like two or three, and then you can now still make a choice among those options depending on your own preference and logistics and all that. For example, if you don't like injection, you may prefer an implant, whereas some people don't like anything in their body as well, you know. So you will make up your mind. Some people you can do coil. There are different kind of coil. We have the copper T, we have the Minerva, the one that have uh, hormones impregnated into them. So we have different type of options. There are many options, but you can't just go and just pick an option without a medical advice. And that is where the family planning provider. So most of the progesterone only hormonal contraceptives, they are compatible with breastfeeding. But if you don't want to do hormonal IUCD, coil, they are very fine with also breastfeeding as well. I think the main one that you should avoid if you're breastfeeding is the oral contraceptive pills that has estrogen in them. All right. Okay, I think my time is almost up. I don't really seem to have many questions today. I guess everybody is busy today. But I just want to remind you that it's ATP anniversary for the whole of July. And yeah, thank you, Okolo. Thank you. It's all of ATP anniversary this July. There are a lot of things going on all our social media platforms. Please watch them, watch our journey. And if ATP has been a blessing to you, please tell us your ATP story, share your impact with us, and more importantly, support us. Okay, we need a lot of funds to be able to do a lot more for our children, and we don't have like international fund or anything like that. We rely on us ourselves, our volunteers, to do a lot for the children. So if you are blessed, you can give us 10,000 naira every month, every year. That would be lovely. If you can give us 1,000 naira every month, that would be lovely. If you can give us 1,000,000 every year, that would be lovely. But we are very accountable. We will let you know how all the money you give is being spent. So watch for all our flyers again. I think I should just share it again. And if you are abroad, if you are overseas, and you also want to support us, we have dollar accounts. If you want to support us, there are many ways to give. So let us know, and we will let you know as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Our anniversary continues throughout the month. Our main grand finale is on the 20th of July, which is a Sunday, and that is our ATP day proper. So we're going to do a lot of parties all over Nigeria that day, and we're going to do it online as well. So you just watch out for that. And during the course of the anniversary, we'll let you know if you want to be part of us, if you want to be a volunteer wherever you live, and you can even volunteer just online, like as a moderator. And or if you want to, any aspect you think you also just want to touch children, you want to reach life of children, please let us know, and then we will be in touch with you. If you have any question on administrative, like all these our anniversary issues, or you have suggestions for us, or you want to donate, you want to link us with a big donor, please send us a WhatsApp message on +234 9056 916818. Send us a message and we'll try and respond to you. Don't worry about the adverts you will get when you forward drop your message. Just drop your message and we will come back to you, and or you can email us at askthepediatricians@gmail.com. So I think that is it. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't have any more questions today. We're still trying to sort out the Instagram that's always going off. So we'll keep celebrating a decade of impact for the whole of this July. So we've just done 7 days, so 22 more days to go. But we're so excited about it. All right. So And you can also win prizes as part of our anniversary. We're doing all the trivia. And if you're the first test finger to get our trivia, we just ask very simple questions on ATP. We want to know those who know ATP proper. So if you win our trivia question, you will win 1,000 naira hair time. And I think three people have won now, so you can still win as well. Just watch out when we will drop them, and once we drop them, make sure you are very fast in giving your answers, and if it is correct, you will get free hair time from us as well. Okay, people are asking me question now, like it's 7 o'clock. Okay, let me answer the last two questions. Is it true that blood group and genotype cannot be known until they're a year old? You mean 1 year old? That is not true. We can even tell you from when they're in the womb, their genotype and all that. For example, those who are at risk of having babies who are going to have the sickle cell hemoglobin, sometimes we can test the baby for you in the womb. Okay, so we can do that. That is not true. Blood group, genotype, we can tell you right from the first day the baby is born. Of course, it's not every lab. It is not your roadside lab that will tell you those kind of results. It's the hospital, so it has to be a reference lab. So there are laboratories that can tell you that kind of information. It is not every lab that can do that. And when it comes to genotype and things like that, please try and do it in hospitals, government hospitals, preferably general hospitals, station hospital, or a very standard reference private labs. Otherwise, some of these labs that are open in a corner of the house, and most of them don't do it properly, and they are causing a lot of confusion. So you see a lot of people say, oh, my genotype is AA, my husband is AA, and yet they're having children with who are SS. So we all know that it's not true. And this is something that happens all the time. We've had instances when parents will be sure that one of them is AA, one of them is AS. And then, so what we normally do is to test everybody again. We test the father, the mother, the baby, and the truth always come out. So most of the time, because somebody has given one of them a wrong genotype. And Nigeria, we have the highest rate of what we call the X gene. We have about 3% of our population have the X gene. So there are 25% of our population are AS, 25%. That's a lot of numbers of people who are AS. So if you AS marry AS, for every pregnancy, some people think it's okay if you have 4 children, then one of them will be SS. No, it is for every pregnancy, there is a 25% chance it's going to be SS. And I have families where all of the children are SS. So in other words, every pregnancy is on its own. This is not like if you have 3 or 4 children, then 2 or 3 of them will be AS, one will be AA, then one will be SS. No, it is every pregnancy. And some people are fortunate or unfortunate to have all the pregnancies. I know mothers that have 3 SS children, and it is very stressful. It is very, very stressful coming to the hospital in and out every day. So please, this is a free public service announcement. If you are the kind of people where you have AS or not, don't go and do your genotype or that of your would-be partner in any roadside lab. Go to a general hospital, a teaching hospital, go and do it in a standard lab. Those labs are regulated. They follow certain standards, but there are some people that do things, anything they give you, how do you know? They may not even test the blood and they will write something for you. How do you know it's true? So, but if you do it in a standard lab, they have their reputation and they have standards to maintain. So they're going to make sure they do the right thing. So please, let's take that as a take-home message for today. Can BP drug affect breast milk supply? Yes, there are BP drugs you should not take if you're breastfeeding. So if you have high blood pressure, you must always tell your doctors when you want to breastfeed that I'm breastfeeding, so that they will be conscious and decide there are drugs that are compatible with breastfeeding for BP, but there are others that are not. So if you ask them, then they will make sure that they give you the one that is compatible with breastfeeding. So we have drugs that we give to mothers that are breastfeeding, but there are some that we try to avoid in them because they can affect the breast milk supply. So, but ask your doctors and then they will help you with that. All right, I've done extra 4 minutes now. I need to leave. So thank you so much, everyone. Please go to our Facebook group, go to our Facebook page, go to all our YouTube channels, all our social media platforms. Go and drop your lovely messages for us. And more importantly, please donate and support HCP. We always publish a list of all our donors. We always put it online in our annual magazine. So we are very transparent like that. So we don't put the money because some people like to be, anonymous in terms of how much they give. So, but we do audits of our accounts and we always publish our audits online, so you can see everything. So, all the money is for the children. We are really, really committed to the health and the welfare of all children globally, but most especially from our Jerusalem in Nigeria. So, thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And thank you for being part of Ask the Pediatrician anniversary. And it is bye bye from me.